10 iPhone tips for 2018. That video is coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to my 10 iPhone tips for 2018. Now there's plenty more that you can do on the iPhone, but I'm going to share with you 10 here. Now it doesn't matter if you're using iPhone 10, SE, iPhone 8 Plus, 7 Plus, 6 Plus. As long as you're running iOS 11, most of these should work. Let's begin with the first one, which is going to be how to make your iPhone speak to you, like read anything you want to you. Now, of course, you could probably ask Siri, but we're going to go into settings for this one. Go down into general, and then we're going to locate accessibility. When we get into accessibility, we're going to go head over into speech. When we get into speech, we're going to turn on speak selection. Now, this is not on by default, so you might not even know it ever existed. Now, let's go into notes here, and I did a test message right here to show you what this does do. So we're going to select all here, and then we're going to go over just a little bit to where it says speak. Now, when we hit speak, so you can see there is a text message or a test message for rich formatting of text. Now you've seen right there that it spoke right to me just by clicking that. Now you can do this in messages as well. Just highlight over the message that you want to read back to you. And where you usually see copy and more at the bottom, you will see speak. So enable that. That's a pretty cool thing you didn't probably know your iPhone could do. If you did, well, then you're probably a veteran iOS user. Let's get on to the next tip. So the next tip, a lot of people probably know if they've been using iOS, and all these tips aren't meant to be some secret. Like if you know them, you know them. If you don't, you don't. The point of this video is to help those who might not have discovered something about their iPhone that they're going to discover new today. So you can hold down your keys to actually get to some different symbols. If you didn't know this, you can see you can go into here. And you can see you get all these symbols just by holding down. Now you might just be tapping away looking for stuff all the time, but a lot of these letters and symbols do have stuff behind them. So just hold them down to access those functions. Now, not all of them do, but I do want to mention that, you know, like the money sign does, as well as some of the other signs like this one right here. You got to play around, experiment with them, but just hold down some of these keys, and there are quick shortcuts and different symbols behind them. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't discovered that already with your iPhone. Okay, so for the next tip, it does reside within the calculator. So I still don't like the iPhone calculator too much just because it doesn't have history. But one thing it does have is the ability to allow you to delete one number back just by a swipe. So let's do 50, for example. If you go back 1, you can go right back to 0. You can do this either way. However, which way you want, left or right, it will work. So as we're typing, we could just go back and delete like that. It can make calculations just a little bit quicker for you if you are doing some calculations. So that's a little quick tip right there. Once you get to the total though, you can't do it no more. It's only when you're actually adding up your totals right here. So you can go ahead and use that tip if you like as well. And that's number 3. Number 4 has to do with the dialer. So we go into that little green icon into the phone. You might be going to recents to check out your recent calls and stuff like that. But, you know, you can actually recently call somebody just by double tapping the green button. So this can be pretty safe if you're biking or something like that and you don't want to, you know, stumble your phone, or you're in a situation where you just need to do something really quickly. You can just tap the green icon twice and call somebody. You don't even have to go into recents to do that. So that's a nice little tip there for you to use on your iPhone in 2018. So number 5 is charge faster with airplane mode. So when you are about to charge, if you want to get a quicker charge, and I mean, it's a good 10% to 20% faster if you do this. If we go down and scroll down and go to airplane mode, usually you will use that on an actual airplane because they want you to have that on throughout the flight. But if you use this when you're going to go ahead and charge at home, it will boost your charging speed. So turn that on, put your charger on, and you should get a little bit faster charging for your iPhone. You might not have known that. A lot of people do know that, but it's a little secret tip for, you know, faster battery charging on iPhone. So go ahead and do that. That is number 5. Okay, so coming in number 6 is hiding photos. So we're going to head over into Photos application, and let's say we want to hide this photo right here. So it's a nice little photo right here. I want to hide this thing. So we're going to hit the share icon and scroll over until we find the hide button. And when we hide this, this will disappear from our main album. And if we go back into albums and we scroll down, you can see right here under hidden is where our hidden photos will be. So this is kind of akin to the secure folder, but not quite, because you cannot secure it with a fingerprint or anything like that. But there still is a way, you know, to hide photos within iOS, and that's kind of the way you do it without downloading an extra app or anything like that. So that's my 6th tip for 2018. Okay, so for number 7 has to do with Siri. So you know, we all know you could talk to Siri. That's ages old. But did you know that you could type to Siri? You can actually type out your message if she doesn't respond to what you exactly want to say. So we're going to enable this in accessibility. Once again, we're going to scroll down until we find, let's actually go over this one more time so you get it. General, accessibility, and then we're going to find the Siri button here, or the function here. So we're going to go into Siri. Let's find her, Siri, and then we're going to go ahead and hit type to Siri. So when we type to Siri, now when we hold this down, you can go ahead and type right to Siri. Now, one thing I noticed is that it doesn't really speak to you when you do go in this mode. So you're going to kind of have to decide if you want typing on or you want to just have talking on. So type to Siri right there does work well if you don't want to be talking to it and maybe you're in class or something. I don't know what you're doing, but you want to just type to the Siri, and that comes in at number 7 for me. Okay, so for number 8, let's make our pictures pop out just a little bit more. So I'm going to go to, let's say this, how about this note picture right here? So you can see the note picture, pretty nice quality right there, but I want to make it pop a little bit more. Now, there's some new modes that will visually make this photo look much better rather than downloading something like Lightroom and things like that. Now, that is much more intensive editing, but we can make this thing pop just a little bit more without using Instagram filters. Let's go into editing here, hit this little 3 filter icon right there, and you could see the one I like the most would be the Vivid Warm. So use the Vivid Warm. It will add quite a bit of pop to your color, or you can use the Vivid, but that doesn't add too much over the original. It's really the Vivid Warm that adds quite a bit of quality to that photo, and we'll give it some visual flair if you ask me. So that comes in at number 8 on my list. At number 9 is rich formatting of text. This usually works in Apple Notes. That's why I did this little, hey, this is a text message for rich formatting of text. So how would we do this? We're going to go down here and we're going to select all of this right here. And you see this B/IU. Let's go ahead and select it again. I accidentally misplaced that. So let's go into BIU. You can change to go to bold. You can do italic here. You can do underline and strike through. So you can now have rich formatting of text here within the Notes app. This wasn't available in prior iOS versions. So that's another tip that you can do if you want to get a little bit more in depth with your notes and just make them a little bit more bolded, underlined, just get a little bit more serious about your note taking within the Apple Notes app. Okay, so at number 10 is type with one hand on the keyboard. Now, I know a lot of seasoned iOS users, meaning that you've been studying, you've been, using iOS for a long time, you watch all the reviews on the planet, you probably know this one. But for those new iOS users, those who don't know much about the iOS ecosystem, came over for Android or something like that, you can go ahead and have a one-handed type mode just like you have on Galaxy devices. So we're going to go ahead and hold down the emoji, and we're going to go right here, and you can bring the keyboard off to the right. Now, on a bigger iPhone or like an 8 Plus or even a smaller one, the emoji key is not in this little space. This is for the iPhone 10 design, and it will be like next to the space bar, but it's the same functionality right there. So you can one-handed type here, making it much easier for the larger iPhone users to type one hand. So that completes my list of 10 iPhone tips for 2018. If you guys found this video helpful, enjoyable, informing, entertaining, you want to see more tips and tricks type videos like this, drop that down below in the comments. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, also leave it in the comments. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more tech videos like this. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. I will catch you all in the next episode. Be sure to be well, and peace.